First of all, I'd like to thank David for conceding the debate multiple times by failing to do the things that I asked him to do at the beginning, all right, which were number one, prove that the Quran itself affirms the Bible as what was being revealed from Allah. He's failed to do. Prove the Bible was in Medina. He also failed to do that. He also failed to prove that the Quran is referring to the Bible and not the Torah and Injeel that I presented in Medina. He also failed to do that. He also said that I have to prove the Torah and Injeel that I mentioned in the Quran and the Hadith, yet he claims that the Quran and the Hadith affirm the Bible. So he's using the Quran and the Hadith he's saying the Quran and the Hadith affirm the Bible, yet he doesn't accept it when the same Quran and Hadith that actually proved the Torah and Injeel in Medina, and of course the Quran's understanding of Torah and Injeel, which he did accept, was different. When I said it would be an impossible task to prove, it wasn't me being clairvoyant, David. It's because it's always been nothing more than a Christian delusion. Today, I've clearly proved the core premise of the delusion has not been substantiated. All right, the Islamic definition of the Torah and Injeel is different, which is apparent from the Quran itself. Game over. I've also proved that the Torah and Injeel, according to the Quran, mentioned content not found in today's Bible. The Torah and Injeel that was in Medina also mentions many things that are not in the Bible. The Prophet understood it that way. The companions understood it that way. The scholars understood it that way. The Christian experts also agree with that Islam understood it that way. And I even shown today that David actually agrees with me on that there were two groups in Medina. Don't forget to go back and check that slide out with him and Sam and the Daniel debate at 55 seconds in. So he's failed to show any proof of what he's saying. He agrees with me on everything except the one thing that he couldn't prove, that it was the Bible. I've clearly shown how David is not Ahlul Injeel, right? He is Nasara, we'll give him that one. And more specific, Ahlul Tabdil, from the people of substitution. All this, and David still insists that Islam affirms the Bible, which leaves me with no choice but to label this the Christian delusion. It must be hurting David. After what we have witnessed here, that there is no dilemma other than what insincere apologists concoct out of desperation. And when I say desperation, let's remember how we got here. This all started due to the Christians not being able to defend the inspiration, preservation, and authority of the Bible with their own position, from their own position. So in their desperation, they appeal to the Quran in the hope that they can confirm the Bible. When they realize it doesn't, they tricked you into thinking that there was a dilemma. You are the victims of these apologists. Now, know for the fact that this is no dilemma. I expect less enthusiasm in future to debate these non-topics. Instead of bringing this silly argument, which is yet to prove the core premise of, although it's too late, the next round of debates between Muslims and Christians should be about the inspiration, preservation, and authority of the Bible from an internal critique of the Bible. Instead of embarrassing themselves, assuming the Quran affirms the inspiration, preservation, and authority of the Bible, let's see if David can prove the inspiration, preservation, and authority of the Bible. I'd be happy to debate David on this topic after he recovers from tonight's session. I rest my case.